Well, good morning. Please continue to enjoy your breakfast once we get started, but on behalf of the Robbins Regional Chamber of Commerce, I would like to welcome you on this rainy morning here for our Eggs and Issues series, specifically for our Tri-Cities update from all of our mayors. At this time, I would like to ask Ms. Vivian Childs to please come forward for our invocation and pledge. So if you will please rise.
Let us pray. We are gathered here today for a time such as this, a time to listen, a time to share, a time of commitment, a time to serve. Lord, grant us the knowledge and the will to be strong, to be diligent, to advocate. We also ask for your protection of our brave men and women as they serve. Let us remember our leaders in Washington, in the state of Georgia, and in our community. I ask that these mayors are given insight and direction as they deal with the issues in our communities. Remembering this quote by John Wesley, "Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. Now bless this food we are about to receive, for the nourishment of our bodies, for Christ's sake, amen." The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. You may be seated. As I've mentioned before, Eggs and Issues is by far my favorite event that the Chamber hosts each year, not only because of the opportunity to see so many of our community elected and business leaders here, but also because I don't know of any program that we offer that more directly aligns with our mission to advance and promote the business interests of our members through advocacy, building partnerships, and education. I believe we hit on all three of those cylinders today, and this program would not be possible without our sponsors. Thank you to Flint Energies, who will have a moment to speak in just a moment, but at this time I would like to call forward Michael Chalmers, Chair of the Government Affairs Committee, to provide our introductions for this morning.
Thank you, April. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Governmental Affairs Committee of the Robbins Regional Chamber of Commerce and our Board of Directors, I also extend to you a hearty, soggy welcome this morning. Thank you all for braving the weather to be here. Certainly, this is a very exciting day for us when we have our Eggs and Issues breakfast, and when we are able to have the mayors from our Tri-City, it even makes it even more special. Before we get into our program, I would like to take a few moments to make some introductions. If you are a first-time attendee to one of our Eggs and Issues breakfasts, would you stand for me this morning? Any first-time attendees? Wow. That's a rather large crowd. Thank you all for being here this morning. We appreciate your attendance and hope that you'll find value out of today's program. Also, I'll take a moment to ask any new chamber members. If you're a new chamber member with us this morning, would you please stand? Any new chamber members? Welcome. We appreciate your investment in our Chamber of Commerce and look forward to working with you in the future. I would like to take a moment to introduce those, with today being our Tri-Cities breakfast, to introduce and especially recognize those individuals who serve on our City Council. You'll hear from each of our mayors this morning, but I know that they would echo the sentiment that they don't get done and the work in the city does not get done without the excellent work and support of our council members. So if you are a representative from the City of Centerville Council, if you would please stand and be recognized. Representatives from the City of Perry City Council. And representatives from the City of Warner Robins. Thank you all for being here this morning. We appreciate it. Those representing Robins Air Force Base obviously is a crucial part of our success in this community, and this beautiful building we're in today wouldn't be here without them. So those who are here from Robins Air Force Base, I saw Colonel Hill, good morning. Thank you for being here. And finally, any other elected officials who are here with us this morning, county commissioners, other elected officials, if you would please stand and be recognized. We are very appreciative of all of your service that had the opportunity to stand this morning, and thank you for the work that you do for the betterment of our community. We are honored to partner with Flint Energies. Flint Energies does a remarkable job of supporting not only our Chamber of Commerce, but this entire Central Georgia community. And we are honored to count them as one of our business partners. I want to thank Flint Energies and Bob Ray for being here this morning and sponsoring this event. And I would now turn the podium over to Jay Flesher for some comments from Flint Energy. Jay?
Good morning. As many of you guys know, Flint Energies is all about affordable and reliable power, and we have over 230 men and women that work on that every day for our community and our members. Something you guys may not know, though, is that we also work in economic development and community development. On the table, you guys have a couple sheets there that talk about a new program, and it's in the center of the table, and it's called Firestarter. It's a full size sheet of paper. Firestarter is an initiative that is towards entrepreneurship and innovation. And what we're striving to do is try to identify organic individuals that want to develop their own company, their own ideas here locally using the resources we already have. We actually had our first Firestarter meeting February the 19th. We had over 100 registrants, entrepreneurship and innovation registrants that came to that meeting. We had over 80 cards turned in to tell us what their next steps are, be it a prototype or what they need to take their next step as far as the entrepreneur is. And we're striving forward with that. It's a very positive movement because, again, it's organically grown. We really want to identify and help the people that are here, that are a part of our community already. One of the other things that we're doing is we're teaming up with the Houston County School Board, and we're going to develop a community innovation center that is open to the general public. It'll have 3D printing in it, 3D lab in it, have digital manufacturing, woodworking, metalworking. We're in the process of working those details out. We're looking to actually have an open house at that event for the next Firestarter meeting, April 16th. If you guys have anything that you have anyone that is a part of your organization or that you know as friends that's an entrepreneur that wants to lend their services as a mentor or needs help on what their next step is or has an idea of an invention and they don't know how to get it from an idea to a prototype to a product, engage them in this conversation because that's what it is. It's a conversation about resources. We want to combine as many resources as we can as a community to bring this to fruition for them, but also for us as a growing community. Outside of that, the biggest thing is just help us move this thing forward so that we can engage and move forward. So, thank you. The last little bit really didn't mean too much. So, anyway, if you guys will, I'm stuck. Thank you. I have no idea where I was going.
Courtesy of Flint Energies this morning, they have a few door prizes that they brought. If you didn't get an opportunity to put your card in, you've got one last few seconds. If nobody did, okay. If not, I will we'll go ahead and draw a couple of door prizes. Let's see. Deborah Kinlaw from Phoenix Center. Yay. Deborah, congratulations. And Nicole Clark with Morgan Stanley.
Yay.
Congratulations to both of you. Jay, they probably want a picture or something. So. Good morning.
How exciting.
Okay. Thank you again to Flint Energies for sponsoring this morning's breakfast. I will just quickly echo some of Jay's comments to congratulate and thank them for the Fire Starter program. I was able to be at the first meeting, and that truly is going to be an excellent program and very exciting. So if you get an opportunity to engage in that, I hope you will. We are honored this morning to have the representatives of our three cities here with us to speak to us and tell us what's going on in each of their individual locations. We're going to ask that we start in alphabetical order by city. I will introduce all three of the individuals, and then if you will just come up as each one of you finish. Then once we have finished with Mayor Toms, we will do any Q&A. So on your table are some cards and pens. So if there's some questions that you would like to write, I ask that you would write those. You can just hold them up briefly. Someone with the chamber will stop by and pick them up, and we'll have a brief Q&A after Mayor Tom speaks. We're honored this morning to have from the city of Centerville, Mayor John Harley, from the city of Perry, Mayor Jimmy Faircloth, and from the city of Warner Robins, Mayor Randy Toms. And I know many of you know these individuals and know the hard work that they put in each and every day to make our community a better place to live. So thank you, gentlemen, for being here this morning, and I will now turn the podium over to Mayor Harley. Thank you.
Big surprise. For some reason, I thought I was number 2 today. Oh, well. We can make it go. Next slide, please. You know, this slide indicates, it's an illustration that captures how we work in Centerville. Mayor, council, and staff hand in hand with each other and hand in hand with our neighbors. And our neighbors are Warner Robins, Perry, and Houston County. We try to set the example, but I think the rest of us, they set the example for us too, so we work great together. Post 1 up there is Cameron Andrews, and he's the vice principal over in the school system. Post 2, Randall Wright, he's our senior councilman, and he's the one that when we come up with some grandiose ideas, he says, oh, that's not going to work. Or at least he makes us think about it better. You know, we appreciate that. Post 3, Eddie Tucker, we're really proud of him. He was recently promoted to a sergeant major in the Army National Guard. You know, that's a great thing, great accomplishment, because there's not that many in our National Guard system. Gives you an idea of the type of work he does with the city. And post 4, John Nichols, he's the quietest of our group. I was going to say I want to hear some laughter, you know, but it was automatic. Anybody knows John. But I tell you what, if I can't make something, you can count on John being there. So he's basically my permanent mayor pro tem, and I appreciate him very much. Our city operates successfully, you know, and we enjoy what I call increased engagement between the council and staff under the management structure we established in late 2013. You know, we went from a city administrator to no city administrator, and it's working great. Each councilman has a department they're responsible for, with the city attorney reporting to the entire mayor and council. You know, I enjoy this. You know, it's a great opportunity for somebody who's a part-time mayor. You know, as my wife says, thank goodness it's part-time, because 80 hours a week, but all I can stand for you being away. Next slide, please. We what we call a healthy city. We continue to be asked and selected to serve in positions of leadership on a wide variety of local, state, and national boards. As the mayor and council, we're very proud to support these efforts as a positive reflection of Centerville and on Houston County. We consistently receive unqualified opinions on our annual audit. That means they find no problem, you know, which we enjoy. That's a consistent thing. And we're also very proud of a very low debt position and of the fact that we have successfully fully funded our employee pension plan. And there's many cities throughout the state that cannot say that. We continue to be fiscally responsible of always doing a lot with a little in operating our city. Next, please. This slide is a picture of a fountain concept. It's not our actual fountain plan yet. But what we're planning on doing, we're working with the mall to place this on city property on the corner next to Meldino's Pizza. And it's across from First Baptist Church in that corner area there. The fountain will incorporate a memorial honoring all branches of our military services. I've seen the initial thing is it could be absolutely gorgeous over there. We're proud of that. Next slide. Centerville is entering the final phases of implementation of a stormwater utility. Public education will be accomplished by holding town hall meetings. And we've already had some of our constituents come in and talk to us about it. They seem excited about it. We're happy that they're excited so far. Plans for stormwater management will include such things as ditch piping, enhanced storm drain capacity, and customer education. And an anticipated flat fee of $4.25 per month will be billed on our monthly water, sewer, garbage statement. And commercial utility companies' customers will be billed based on the amount of impervious surface on their property. Revenue generated by the utility will be put in an enterprise fund account and spent solely on stormwater management. That means not like the state and some others, we can't go rob from other things to do it. We fence everything in when we get it. Centerville will be one of 22 Georgia communities with established stormwater utilities, joining our neighboring cities, Perry and Warner Robins. Next slide. This sort of gives you an idea. It's sort of hard to see because it's busy, but it shows the different ones on there. This is an older map, and it doesn't show Perry yet. And there's a couple of other cities in the state that don't have it, but this is something that's going to be mandated eventually by the state, and we want to take care of ourselves rather than let the state do it for us. We think we can do a better job if it's locally controlled. Next slide. GIS mapping is a new thing we're doing. We have a state-of-the-art interactive GIS mapping of 4 categories of infrastructure. First is the fire hydrant inspection map. This is ongoing work by our fire chief, Jason Jones, with assistance from the Middle Georgia Regional Commission. One type of information shown is hydrant flow rates, which contributes to Centerville's ISO rating of 3. Warner Robins and Centerville now both have a 3 rating ISO, which is very great if you have to pay a lot of insurance. Helps bring it down. The next one is the stormwater MS4 map, which shows stormwater inlets, outlets, piping, things like that. And the last one is the zoning map. It shows the zones in the city, and you can see this on our website. And our website should be up there yet down the bottom. But it actually tells you what the different zones are. So if you're thinking about doing something in there, you can say, okay, yeah, this is C2, this is R1, or whatever. It's there for you to look at. Next slide. That's an example. That's not a part of our city right there, but just an example. It shows the various zones in the city. It's really neat how that works out. If you're an investor, for example, looking to bring something to the city, you want to see where the commercial zones are. What can you put in them? And the next slide. What we call plans for the future. Myself and our council and 4 of our key staff members are going to take a 2-day driving tour of the cities of Sonora and Suwannee into this month. And what we're doing is working to make plans for economic development for the city in the near future. And one way to make these plans is to see how other people have done it. Don't need to reinvent the wheel if you don't have to. City's finalizing plans to add a full-time Director of Marketing and Economic Development in the upcoming fiscal year. This position description for this new position is almost ready. We're finalizing the last little bits of that with the help of the Regional Commission. And the city recently purchased 16.5 acres of land on Alberta Road. Now, plans are relocate our streets and utility department operations to the site. Right now, they're scattered at various sites throughout the city. And the city has identified several other key parcels of property to consider for acquisition as part of our development plan. That's going to be really great if these things work out the way we have planned. It's going to be great. And really, at this point, I mean, that covers everything for the city that's going on. I have to tell you, we have a very successful chicken plan, though. If anybody wants to have chickens, you're welcome to come to Centerville. We'll be happy to give you a permit to have chickens in your yard. You can have your own fresh eggs and whatever you want. I mean, just welcome to Centerville.
That's going to be kind of hard to follow. I'm humbled and honored to continue to serve the citizens of Perry as their mayor, but I don't do it alone. Council is responsible for helping me set the direction and the way that we go, the vision, the work. We hire the people necessary in order to accomplish these goals through our city manager, Lee Gilmore, our department heads, our staff, the employees. But the most important people in Perry are its citizens. They're the ones we serve. They're the ones that we answer to. They're the ones who are really in control because they tell us what we can and can't do. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least recognize our city council. The mayor pro tempore is Phyllis Bynum Grace, Willie King, Riley Hunt, Randall Walker, William Jackson, and our newest member, Robert Jones. The city has received its final retail and residential market analysis. We're going to use these findings in order to shape our residential and commercial development activities in the city of Perry. Specifically, we're working on a development and implementation plan of a targeted commercial recruitment and retention strategy. We're also working on the promotion of inadequate and alternative housing opportunities with support from our Perry Housing Team and GIC, the Georgia Initiative for Community Housing. In fact, our GIC group is sponsoring a cleanup day in one of our neighborhoods this Saturday. We're working with community partners such as the Convention Visitors Bureau Authority, the Chamber of Commerce, the Historical Society, and others. We're going to create a community branding initiative. We'll have a fresh, united image when we're done. The city has recently completed putting together 6 parcels of land in our downtown district. It's bordered by General Courtney Hodges Boulevard, Main Street, Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, and we're going to develop a multi-phase, multi-use community space. Among some of those proposed ideas are a Veterans Memorial Park, a meeting facility with public restrooms, the rehabilitation of an historic building that is on this site. This serves to reinforce Perry's commitment to a livable community and a high quality of life. Perry's known for having quite a few motel rooms. The fact of the matter is, 62% of these motel rooms are classified as economy. The goal is 20%. Because of that, the city is working on developing an incentive package. This will promote the development and redevelopment of the current hotel-motel properties in the community with a focus on attracting more mid-scale and upscale motels. We are currently reworking our entire Perry Land Development Ordinance, or PLDO. Now, if you ever have insomnia, call me, I'll get you a copy of this thing. You won't get past the second paragraph, I promise, before you'll nod on off. But these will help us with the development of the guidelines that promotes the different types of development that we have that's desired by our community. It's updating. It's also inspiring and incorporating a progressive development practice known as form-based code. You'll hear more of that as we continue. We have our newly designated Classic Main Street program that's becoming very active in downtown Perry. They're promoting and growing our downtown development district. They're working with city staff and the Planning Commission on that PLDO initiative. They're beautifying the downtown area, working on code enforcement, and planning is already underway for the 3rd annual Perry Buzzard Drop, New Year's Eve. If you missed the first 2, there's still room for a 3rd. Come celebrate with us. The Perry Downtown Development Authority has also been busy. They're working on a couple of things right now that will add funding streams to current businesses. 2 of these programs are called Boost Microgrant programs. It's a crowd-funded microgrant program that will provide funds or capital for operating expenses to businesses through a competitive process. Another is a local revolving loan fund, nothing new, but you might as well use the assets that you have. That's a locally capitalized low-interest loan program that will serve as critical gap financing in promoting business development. This past Monday, in conjunction with the Georgia Economic Developers Association and the Georgia Department of Economic Development, our Perry Chamber of Commerce had submitted a local Perry company for their annual Rock Star Award. The Perry Company won out of some 29 entries statewide, and it's the Guardian Centers in Perry. A very cool company. Look them up online if you haven't. You'll be impressed. Thank you, Chamber of Commerce, for having the foresight to do that, and congratulations, Guardian Centers. If you happen to be in Perry this past weekend, you noticed that there were quite a few thousand extra people in town. We were participating in the Peaches to Beaches that reaches from, Griffin to the coast along Highway 341. Something to see. It has become quite an event in the city of Perry. I went down there several times and got caught in it, not necessarily by design, and I wasn't fussing, I was smiling as big as I could. I've never seen so much treasure in all my life. However, I couldn't help but smile at all of the thousands of people who had come to Perry to gaze and to spend money. That's the name of the game. Some of them elect to stay, some of them decide this is where I want my booth next year because we are so popular an area. I would encourage you to participate wherever you may find it. April the 11th and 12th is going to be our next Dogwood Festival. That's what this button says. Proud, Perry proud, and we are proud to be in Perry. The one thing I want to leave you with is that you don't necessarily have to be from Perry to be Perry proud. Live long and prosper.
Well, I'm told I have technology up here that works. It's just a matter of I don't know how to work it, maybe. So I don't know. I just want to say, first of all, thanks to all the sponsors, especially Flint Energies for sponsoring this event. Thanks to April Bragg and her staff and all the Robbins Regional Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Museum of Aviation for hosting this event. And it's a pleasure to be here this morning representing the city of Warner Robins. You've seen you saw 3 of our council members earlier. Miss Robbins came in, so I'm very proud to be working with such a great council and getting things done for the city of Warner Robins. I will say this, that there are several city employees from the city of Warner Robins, so if you're a Warner Robins city employee, if you would please stand so that you can be recognized, if nobody else, by me, and just tell you how proud I am of you and thank you for the work you do. And if you are Felicia, if you will remain standing. And this is everybody, this is Felicia Wright, and she is currently my executive assistant. Don't sit down. She is currently my executive assistant with the city of Warner Robins, and Felicia has decided I thought she loved me, but she doesn't, and she is moving to a different position within the city. She loves me. Okay, who could blame her for loving me? But she has accepted the Senior Citizens Director for the city of Warner Robins, so she's moving on. She said she's qualified for that position after working with me for 15 months. So thank you, Felicia, publicly for everything that you've done. She even went as far as doing my homework for my Georgia Academy class this past month. I'm sorry I said that, but I worked on it some. I didn't realize this was being picked up by a microphone. But I told her that I have plenty of time and I'll take care of my own homework next time, and there is none. So I'm really proud of that accomplishment. What I plan to do is take all the remaining time on my presentation so that you have no time to ask questions, because I don't want to ask your questions, and you may think I'm chicken, and you would be right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I guess I just hit this button. Is that right? Can somebody, Elaine? Where am I pointing this thing? Because I point it this way. Okay. So do I have to hit that middle button first? I do? Okay. Elaine. Okay. So I have, while she's coming up, I'm going to stall. Okay.
It's not you.
It's not me. Everybody give me a round of applause for it not being me. Okay. Is that it?
That's it.
Did you do it or did we do it?
Sleep.
You did it. Okay. Let me try it real quick. Okay. Okay. No. All right. So we'll just switch on. What I want to talk about is what we're calling the City Hall Annex building. The buildings located on the east side of Myrtle Street, adjacent to the City Hall Municipal Complex, were purchased back on December 16, 2014. We actually bought both of those buildings. The old Star building, as some people know it as, is we've already moved some of our offices over there, and we're calling it an annex. I'm going to try one more time. Do I hit the middle button, Elaine? Okay, no. There it is. Did you do it? Anyway, the annex is I'm going to let you do it. The annex is a two-story, 15,364 square foot building, which was built in 2004. No renovations were required. This building was in tip-top shape already. No renovations were required on the annex building. That's Bill Mulkey. Bill, stand up. Let everybody see that's you. And Bill is our Building and Transportation Director, and he's done the lion's share of the work with a lot of help, however, to get this building ready to go. We spent about $8,000 is all getting the building ready, prepared to move into, and we've already moved in most of our offices and have it almost complete. The Building and Transportation, along with Civil Engineering, started moving in the building the first week of this month. So we're just about completed our moving in. We still have a few renovations to go on the building to get it completely like we want it. Okay, you can move on. The next project I want to talk about is our Walker's Pond project. The pond is located off Woodlawn Drive, which is over off of Green Street, and was purchased by the city in June of 2013. The design development master plan was started in late 2013 by Camberdella LLC. Is that right? Pretty close. Demolition, I got a four-letter last name, so anybody over that, I'm not required to say their name right. It's just demolition of the building, removal of the perimeter fence, and initial cleanup was completed in February of this year. So we are moving along. And if you haven't gone over and taken a look at the old Walker's Pond area, you need to do that, because this is really turning into a nice-looking area, and it is going to be a very good facility with a walking trail around it and everything. Work on this project is continually progressing and should be completed within the next year. So this is going to be a great facility, maybe even, and I know everybody loves this term, maybe even with some partnerships coming in to be on site there to help us make it even better than it is now. So we're working on some things. The next thing up is something that you may have seen if you've ridden down Watson Boulevard, and that's the F-15 out in front of City Hall. The city received the release letter from the National Museum of the United States Air Force on August 4th, 2014. And in case you're taking notes, that happens to be my birthday. So I think it was a birthday gift to me, and I appreciate them for doing that. The city started site work in preparation for the delivery of the F-15 in front of City Hall Municipal Complex. Doesn't it look good? Yeah. How many of you have seen it sitting there now? It's really nice. 116 Maintenance Squadron, MXMF, in coordination with several city departments and Flint EMC, moved the plane from the Robins Air Force Base to its current location on September 6, 2014. It was a monumental task, and they did a great job of getting it there. The F-15 was restored to represent the 116th Air National Guard. The next one, and I'm really proud of this one, is Fire Station Number 8, which is out it's on Cartwright Drive, but it's off of Highway 96. The city's Public Works Department started road preparation for the extension of Cartwright Drive on August 14, 2014. Public Works also started digging the retention pond and began site work in late August 2014 on 3.5 acres for the construction of an 8,000 square foot, $1.1 million fire station. Station 8 will house an engine company, and maybe y'all don't know what that is, but I do. After 27 years in the fire service, I'm really proud of this. However, it is being built to accommodate a ladder company as well as for the continued growth of the city. International City Builders started forming the foundation on December 17, 2014 for the new station with an anticipated lifespan of 50 years. The project completion date on this project is actually July of 2015, so it'll be open soon, and that's a really big deal for growth out in that area. Next up, and that's a kind of what it might look like as they finish it. So it's really going to be a nice looking addition to that area out there, and it'll have my name on the plaque, and that's what I really want more than anything. Oscar Tommy Homes demolition. The City of Warner Robins has collaborated with and supported Warner Robins Housing Authority on many of their revitalization projects. Oscar Tommy was the most recent project to be demolished on February 24th. The homes will be replaced with more economical and affordable housing for our residents. The Community Development Block Grant Program has provided funding for the demolition and clearance of Oscar Tommy homes in the sum of $111,793. So that's a pretty big deal to give affordable housing over in that area and more economical and better affordable housing for the people in need of that. The King Drive sanitary sewer outfall, some other projects that we have going on, the replacement of over 7,400 linear feet of older 15-inch y'all don't really care about any of this, but sanitary sewer main and manholes is currently under construction, so it's a big project, and our employees do a great job with stuff like this. Sandy Run Creek wastewater treatment plant. This is a $30 million project. Final stages of a $30 million construction project will increase the capacity of the existing wastewater treatment plant from 9 million gallons per day to 12 million gallons per day, and allow the plant to meet new, more stringent permit requirements. Modifications include a new headworks, large diameter clarifiers. I know about all this, right? So I kind of wrote all this from memory. Not really, in case you think I'm that smart. Deep bed sand filters, a new blower. This project has been particularly challenging as the plant, this is cool, as the plant had to remain in operation and meet permit while undergoing this major renovation of existing structures, processes, and controls. So everybody involved in this project has done a wonderful job in keeping it up and running and doing the project as well. Ongoing drinking water systems improvement at a $2 million cost. The city is using SPLOST funds to overhaul existing water treatment facilities, including a new radio control system, chemical feed equipment, generator backup system, and general building improvements. So just a lot going on. And then you'll also, most of you have noticed, LMIG is a Georgia Department of Transportation grant program that provides the local governments with funds to improve transportation-related projects. The City of Warner Robins resurfaced Russell Parkway from State Route 247 to Moody Road, which has made a big difference in traveling in that area. So that's a big project, and the project is substantially completed. So that's about all we have. Well, there's a lot going on in the city, and I didn't really figure you wanted to hear about some of the things that are on the drawing board, but there are really just a lot of projects in the city of Warner Robins that are just on the verge of taking off. We need public support in getting some of these projects up and going. Just like Jay was talking about on fire starters, we need to find people who are interested in getting involved with the community, helping out, and let's get some of these projects up and running and make Warner Robins and our whole region a better place to live, work, and play. So thank you so much.
Mayor Toms, if you didn't use all your time, I think the rain will drown you out. So I think you'll be okay. Any questions? Did anybody write any questions down? If you would, please raise those up, and someone from the Chamber of Commerce will stop by and pick those up. We're not going to let these guys off this easy, are we? Any questions? I've got a portable microphone if someone would like to ask a question. I will. I'll start if that'll be okay. I'm going to ask Mayor Harley. Would you take a few minutes to talk a little bit about the new cameras that are coming to the police and how that's going to work and the difference between body and vision?
That was an easy one because my police department Tuesday night had a great demonstration for us at City Hall, and they have a lot of employees there. Actually, John Nichols could probably do a better job with this because he's over the police department, and he has all that stuff memorized. I can't believe how much he gets into it. He does a great job with that area. These glasses, what they call Google glasses that they wear, and what they do is when an officer sees, whatever the officer sees is what's recorded. You know, that's compared to when it's on their uniform, the cameras that they have there, it's only what the camera's pointed at. And it does a much better job when you can see what the officer's seeing. So, and people say, well, is it Privacy Act in there? No, it can't. For example, you can see a license plate, but it's not reading it. So there's no information going that way. All it's doing is recording what it sees. And it works in conjunction two ways. They can manually say record, and it will come on, or it's hooked up to the police car, so that they cut the blue lights on, it will automatically start recording at that point. We're the first ones in the United States to get this, the very first one. And Google selected us as a test program. It's been well received by everybody. We're just pleased with the opportunity we had for it. We got it at half price because of being a test program. So it saved the city almost $10,000 by doing that. And we think it's going to be a great thing for us. We really do. It's good.
Thank you. The next couple of questions are for, sorry y'all. Is that good? Are for Mayor Toms. So if you want to make your way up here. Question number one, can you update us on the status of the proposed downtown development?
Well, I thought that one might come up, and that's one of the things that I was talking about when I said there's a lot of things kind of on the drawing board. This is partly my opinion, and some of the things that I've personally been working on is that we've talked about revitalizing downtown for as long as I can remember. And of course, I've been in the city of Warner Robins my whole life and worked for the city of Warner Robins for over 27 years. And so, we've always talked about revitalizing downtown. And so, I kind of had the idea that let's do something a little bit different. And so we have actually been working with a consultant that has some history in revitalizing downtown areas. And he believes that the structure that we have, or what he calls the bone structure of the buildings that we have in place in our that one quarter over there near McCall's, back there behind there, is got good bone structure. And we need to put some money into the buildings to bring them up to what he calls tenant ready. And then he goes out and he recruits restaurants and businesses like that to come in and fill those areas. And then they come in and they get the inside like they want it. And so he has had some really good experience bringing in some really quality restaurants into areas like that. Some of the concerns that we've had for years is, what about parking? You know, we don't have enough parking down in that area. And he's of a different mindset. So to me, he's doing a lot of things differently than we've been doing in the past, and I think it's worth a try. And so he says the parking's fine. You don't want people to think you got plenty of parking, then they think nobody's in there having a good time. So you know, we can add parking later and all that kind of stuff, but we're working with a consultant that's had history in I think Carrollton is one area, so he's revitalized some downtown areas before. Has many contacts with restaurants and restaurant owners to bring in you know, new business to try to revive that part of town. And everybody knows that whatever goes in there usually does a good lunch crowd. We want to try to make it all night long, all day long, and make it work down in that area. So I'm trying to, and I got 4 council members here, so we got media's present, so it's not like I'm breaking sunshine laws. It's, they're a quorum, so I might be trying to convince them a little bit. I just think we need to go outside the box a little bit and do something different than we've been doing in the past. Either that or just keep doing what we've been doing and keep getting what we've always had. So that may be too political for you, but
I won't let you go far.
I didn't think so.
One more for you while you're up here, and then we'll go to Mayor Fairclough. Where is Warner Robins at with passive parks dual plans? Got it?
This was fairly simple. We recently signed a contract with a company called Lawson Associates out of Atlanta, and all they do is parks and recreations. That's all they do. And so what we've contracted with them for is they're going to come in and you're probably going to hear, some of you in here are probably going to hear from them and talk to them, and they're going to do a comprehensive strategic recreation facilities plan to let us know how that we need to go about updating the parks that we have in existence. For example, most of you don't know that Warner Robins currently has 17 parks and recreation facilities in the city of Warner Robins. And so you couldn't tell me, I'm the mayor of this city, and I couldn't tell you where all of them are. If I had a map, I could probably show you, but do we need them all? And if we do we need to make them different because of the demographics in that area? And that's some of the things that they're going to be looking at, is how to best utilize the parks we have, how to bring in new parks and recreation facilities, passive parks, whatever it is that fits that demographic. That's what they're going to be looking at over the next 3 or 4 months to give us an idea of how to best use the funds that we have available to get the most bang for the buck, if you will. So I think it's going to be really exciting. It's another one of those things that doesn't happen as quickly as I would like for it to happen, but I think in the long run, with a strategic, comprehensive strategic recreation facilities plan, we're going to know where we're going, and we're going to know how to get there, and we're going to get it done. And I think that's what's going to happen over the next few months. So I'm excited about it. Really, really excited about it. Is that it?
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Mayor Toms. Mayor Fairclough, in light of the success that Macon has had in the film industry, and knowing that Perry is a camera-ready community, can you talk a little bit about what maybe the plans are or things in the future to bring more film industry into the Middle Georgia area, and if so, how that will impact business?
Economic development takes many shapes and forms. The film industry is one of the quiet partners, if you will. They try to sneak into town and they do their films, and they don't do much sneaking once they get there because everybody seems to know about it. The city of Perry has taken the initiative and created, actually, I don't know if it's called an ordinance or not, but we have a package that we've put together that streamlines that process. They come to one point of contact. They have all of the information they need on any particular site in the city of Perry. They get the permit process right there. It's an accelerated process. We identify exactly where all of these properties are based on whatever their needs are, and it streamlines that process to make it very, very easy for any film industry to come in town and to ply their wares there. That's one of the things that we do. I mentioned the Guardian Centers earlier. That is the Hollywood or the Disneyland of disaster, if you don't know much about that. They can create just about any situation you can think of in a controlled environment for first responders to practice their rescue techniques. That's essentially what they do. But by the same token, they have created a cityscape out there that the movie industry just loves. They've already found it. They've been back several times in creating sections of movies already that you're going to see coming, I think, this year. That's another asset that is available not just for Perry, but for the Middle Georgia region. We all are helped when people come into our communities like that. I think that the movie industry and the tax credits that are available through the state of Georgia and the initiative that the governor has already put into place are going to continue to make Georgia one of the critical places for Hollywood, if you will, to continue to visit us. And we're going to do everything we can to make that happen in Perry, Houston County, and Middle Georgia.
Thank you, Mayor Fairclough. Any other questions? Please join me again in thanking these individuals, mayors who've come this morning. We greatly appreciate your time and the updates that you've given us. And I'll now call on our President and CEO, April Bragg, to close us out.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you all again for making your way out in the rain this morning. I feel like I owe you an apology. We had a saying in Milledgeville shortly after we started our Eggs and Issues series that if it's not raining, it's not Eggs and Issues, because it rained every single time, and we did it 8 times a year. So I think I'm bringing that tradition with me, and I apologize in advance, but we hope that you will make your way through the rain out to have a great day. Before you leave, I want to draw your attention to the back of your agenda. We have several upcoming programs and events that I would like to take just a moment to highlight. Of course, our next Eggs and Issues breakfast is part of Chamber Week. And if you've not been a part of Chamber Week, it is a tremendous opportunity to expose our members as well as the community to the impact that the Chamber has in the Robbins region and a number of offerings that are available through that week. Eggs and Issues that week will be on the Wednesday, May the 6th. And that will feature all of our legislators at the state level, and we're excited about getting an update from them about what has happened in the session. But coming up next week, we have, as part of our small business webinar series through a partnership with the Georgia Chamber, we have a webinar that we'll be hosting at the Chamber. That'll be on the 25th at 8:30 in the morning, sponsored locally, the series by Spherion Staffing, and this particular breakfast by Chick-fil-A. So you'll want to come and get some good breakfast, and we're also going to have them as part of the program as we talk about elevating the customer service experience from average to extraordinary. The presenter for the series on this topic is a 17-year veteran of the Ritz-Carlton, and then of course we'll have Pat and some of his team from Chick-fil-A giving us some hands-on application, and that's a not to miss event. We hope you can join us for that. And then we have Colonel Chris Hill and his team out here at the base will be presenting a State of the Base that is brought to us by our Military Affairs Committee on April the 8th. And the location for that is the Middle Georgia Conference Center. And if all of you are scratching your heads asking where that is, I've been told it's the old Hancock Fabrics building on Houston Road. And I never knew it as anything else. So we hope that, no, I apologize. That is here in Century of Flight. During Chamber Week, we have a new event that we're going to be featuring, again, on the back of your agenda that will be held in the old Hancock's Fabric building. That is the Robbins Regional Outlook. Many of you who attended our Pinnacle Awards this year noticed that we moved away from an annual meeting style event, and that was very intentional as an opportunity to highlight those who have excelled in our membership and the community through a dedicated award ceremony, but also an opportunity, with me being brand new and partnering with our leadership, to have a stronger foundation for where we want to go as an organization, not just this coming year, but going forward. So we're excited about rolling out some of our strategic priorities at that time, but we also have the great pleasure of having Dr. Sasha Tomic, Professor of Economics from Mercer University, who will be coming to present an economic outlook for the Robbins region and sharing with us what business indicators and economic indicators are leading towards for the upcoming year. So we hope you will join us. Again, all the dates and times are on the back of your agenda. You can register for your events at robbinsregion.com. And before the rain starts again, I'm going to say thank you, and we are dismissed.
Hey.